Hi there, my name is Julie Seville. This is my Pecha Kucha presentation on multiple disabilities. The disabilities I have chosen are fetal alcohol syndrome, also known as fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, and autism spectrum disorder. Fetal alcohol spectrum disorder is defined as a lifelong disability that affects the brain and body of people who are exposed to alcohol in the womb. The results can include physical disabilities along with cognitive and behavioral challenges requiring special supports to help them succeed with many different aspects of their daily lives. About 4% of North Americans are believed to have FASD. Due to the stigma surrounding the disorder, many families push for another diagnosis. Symptoms can include organ dysfunction, hearing and vision impairment, respiratory problems, cognitive and behavioral issues, and difficulty with social situations. Autism spectrum disorder is defined as a complex developmental condition that involves a number of persistent challenges, from difficulty with social situations to speech and communication issues, sensory sensitivities, and repetitive behaviors. The effects of ASD and the severity of symptoms are different in each person. In 2020, the CDC reported that approximately 1 in 54 children in the US are diagnosed with ASD. Boys are 4 times more likely to be diagnosed than girls. Symptoms often appear by the age of 2 or 3. Many are diagnosed by the age of 4. Early intervention is recommended. What I discovered in my research was that although fetal alcohol syndrome and autism spectrum disorder are sometimes diagnosed together, oftentimes one is misdiagnosed for the other. Many of the same symptoms are prevalent in both disorders. Some of the common problems that children with FASD and ASD face include trouble making and keeping friends, attention deficit, slower development, impulsivity and problems understanding consequences, and difficulty with schedule changes. We all have our own strengths and weaknesses. It can sometimes be hard for students with disabilities like ASD or FASD to find their own strengths and build confidence in themselves in the face of all of their challenges. What's also common among children with ASD and FASD are specific exceptional gifts, such as mathematical genius or musical brilliance or an innate understanding of technology. As educators, we need to embrace students' strengths and learning styles and harness them in the learning process. Both of these disorders fall under the umbrella of neurodiversity, along with ADHD, dyslexia, Tourette's, and epilepsy. All of these disabilities require individuals to learn and function in a non-standard way, and in turn require the education system to meet the individual needs and learning styles of each and every student. IEPs are put in place to meet the individual needs of each student. Depending on the specific needs, students can be provided with accommodations, allowing them to learn the standard curriculum in a non-standard manner. Some students will be provided with modifications to the curriculum for those that are not yet able to meet the standards of their particular grade level. Individual education plans can include assistive tools to assist in the learning process. Such tools could include graphic organizers and schedulers, post-it notes, pencil grips, manipulatives. Even dogs can reduce anxiety and stress and assist in the learning process. Low technology assistive tools can also be included in an individual education plan. Such examples include calculators, educational electronic games and toys, buzzers, artistic tools, and fidget spinners. In more recent times, high-technology assistive tools are available in the classroom and can be included in an individual education plan. Such technology could include laptops or computers, iPads, speech-to-text technology, audio readers, and educational video games. What educators need to take into account is that accommodations and modifications need to be delivered in a manner that does not center one child out in front of their peers. Assistive technology can be administered in a manner that is inclusive and does not make one student a target for bullying or ridicule. All children want to have friends and be accepted by their peers. Students with disabilities are 2 to 3 times more likely to be bullied than students without disabilities. That is why educators need to foster an environment of inclusion, acceptance, and diversity. For parents and educators of students with fetal alcohol syndrome or autism spectrum disorder, there are many books that can be introduced to children with or without disabilities to promote acceptance and understanding of our differences. They can be brought into the classroom from a very young age. Oftentimes, parents are guided by educators or psychologists towards additional resources that would benefit their child with a disability. Such resources could include speech and communication therapy, occupational therapy, or behavioral therapy. These therapies can be expensive but are extremely necessary in the development of children with disabilities. In conclusion, all students with the right assistance can learn and develop and deserve the opportunity to do so in an accepting and inclusive environment. They said he wouldn't, but he did. They said he couldn't, but he can. They said he won't, but he will. As educators, let's provide a classroom where all students learn to cope with their disabilities and build on their own strengths. Because as Vivian Green stated, life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain.